Tune in to Twin Tier Sunday. We're going to be talking about prevention, both alcohol and tobacco. It is Alcohol Awareness Month and also Cancer Control Month. So we have Stack with us and Trinity of Sheahen County. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good show.
You're watching Twin Tier Sunday with Jennifer Sheahen.
So glad you can join me on this lovely Sunday. I'm your host, Jennifer Sheahen. Now, I'm sure every now and then my adult viewers like to kick back and have a drink, and I bet a few of you smoke as well. But the reality is too much of either of these activities can harm something very important to you, your body. April is Alcohol Awareness Month, but it is also Cancer Control Month, and smoking alone affects 30% of all cancer-related cases.
Why do people smoke, Yogi?
According to statistics, they'd be better off if they didn't.
Why don't they quit then, Yogi?
It's not easy to quit smoking, boob.
An estimated 42.1 million people, or 18.1% of all adults in the United States, smoke cigarettes. Cigarette smoking is more common among men than women, and more than 16 million Americans suffer from a disease caused by smoking.
Johnny Smoke. Where are you heading, Johnny Smoke? How many silos will be emptied tonight? How many men will lie still beneath the sky? How many tears will be shed because of you?
Tobacco smoke contains a deadly mix of more than 7,000 chemicals. Hundreds are toxic and about 70 can cause cancer. Tobacco smoking increases the risk for serious health problems, numerous diseases, and is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States, accounting for more than 480,000 deaths, or 1 of every 5 deaths. People who stop smoking greatly reduce their risk for disease and premature death. And although the health benefits are greater for people who stop at earlier ages, quitting is beneficial for everyone.
So you just saw a little bit about how tobacco affects the United States. Now we're going to learn about how tobacco affects our very own area. And the Southern Tier Tobacco Awareness Community joined us. This is Stacy Giroux. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about the organization and what you do for them?
Okay, so I'm Stacy. I'm from Southern Tier Tobacco Awareness Community Partnership. We do a lot of different things. We have 2 main initiatives. Mostly we work with policy change. So we work with businesses or municipalities to see if they want to develop a tobacco-free outdoor policy. So whether it be entryways or their grounds, and then we provide free signage as long as we have it in our budget to give them the signs if they decide that they want to go completely tobacco-free. And that's one kind of policy that we do. And then the other kind, we work with what we call point of sale tobacco marketing. So like when you walk into a store and you see all of the ads up on the store or behind the counter, that's what we call tobacco marketing at the retail point of sale. And so we work to try to get policies to reduce that or cover it. For example, in Canada, it's illegal and they have to have their tobacco products completely covered.
Now, how difficult is that to get a policy going and then make that change?
It's very difficult. Rochester just had a policy last year, and their policy wasn't to cover it, but instead to restrict the number of retailers within a certain distance of schools, because the more tobacco advertising kids see, the more likely they are to start smoking.
That is really cool. Now, what are you doing locally as far as getting the community together and kind of getting the awareness out about tobacco prevention?
So we do a lot of different things. We have a coalition with Stack. We have a lot of different partners from the 3 main health departments, Steuben, Schuyler, and Sheahen County. Their health educators work with us. The hospitals all work with us. So we do education that way. We have different events. We have 3 tobacco holidays that we celebrate. World No Tobacco Day. We have Kick Butts Day, and then we also have the Great American Smokeout.
That is really, really great. Now, this month is also important too. There's a few events, and this week is, National Public Health Week.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about what that is and what New York is doing for that?
Okay, so it's National Public Health Week, which is really exciting. Every day is a different theme. The theme that we're going to be working with is the theme for April 9th, and that one is Get Ahead, and it's about prevention. So we're going to be really talking about what we can do to prevent youth from using tobacco.
Now, what are some of the ways that you can prevent someone from using tobacco?
There's a few different things. The one big one that we cover is really trying to reduce the amount of tobacco marketing that kids see, because it is a known reason to cause them to start using tobacco. So that's the main thing that we focus on, is policy change.
Now, I've noticed since I was a kid that way tobacco marketing has changed is like incredible. It is hard to see. There used to be the commercials on TV. There used to be, the ads everywhere, billboards. It's drastically less now, but where is it still prevalent to see?
It's mostly going to be at that retail spot. The tobacco industry spends $500,000 every single day to advertise in stores. They have contracts with different store owners. That way they can, when you see the sign at a retail that says we have cigarettes at the lowest New York State rate, it's because they have a contract with them, and they make sure that they put all of the tobacco marketing and ads in the specific positions that they want. For example, next to candy, or lower where the kids can see it below the counter.
Now, do you think that it does have a big effect? How many kids smoke at the age of, under the age of 18, which they're not supposed to, but they do, right, or even close to 18? How common is that?
Most people will start before the age of 18. If you can make it past 18 without smoking, chances are you will never smoke. So it's critical for tobacco companies to get youth to use, because if you can make it to 18, most likely you will never use.
That's incredible. And that's also tobacco causes a lot of different consequences, like cancer as well. And this is also Cancer Control Month, is that correct?
Correct. Yep, the U.S. Surgeon General just put out a new report, and now there's even more known causes of cancer that tobacco contributes to. And if we were to say, we always talk about how we would like to find a cure for cancer. Well, tobacco causes 30% of cancer cases. So if we did not use tobacco, right there, 30% of cancer cases would be eliminated.
That is crazy. Now, how long does it take for, when you start smoking, for that to develop, or do you not know?
It's different for everyone. Everyone's body's different. 1 out of every 3 users will die from a tobacco-related illness, so 1 in 3. So if you think about it, what other product do you use that 1 in 3 people is going to die from using it? If you had soda in front of you and you knew that 1 out of 3, you have a 1 out of 3 chance of drinking it, would you drink that soda? Probably not.
That is very true. Now, for people that have already started smoking and that are, do it daily, what do you recommend for them to stop, or does your organization help in stopping them smoke?
We don't directly work with cessation, but we do have a partner that does, the Arnett Health Tobacco Cessation Center, and that would be the coordinator's Amanda Domineski, and they can contact her, and she helps with cessation and policies for hospitals or, mental health services and different things like that. Now,
do you have any events coming up to get the word out?
Our next event will be May 31st, and that will be World No Tobacco Day. That's coming up. We're in planning of it right now.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. After the break, we're going to learn a little bit about alcohol awareness and the effects of that in New York State as well. So we'll see you.
There are approximately 88,000 deaths attributed to excessive alcohol use each year in the United States. This makes the excessive alcohol use the 3rd leading lifestyle-related cause of death for the nation. The economic costs of excessive alcohol consumption in 2006 were estimated at $223.5 billion. Binge drinking, the most common form of excessive alcohol consumption, is defined as consuming for women 4 or more drinks during a single occasion, and for men 5 or more drinks during a single occasion. And heavy drinking is defined as consuming for women 8 or more drinks per week, and for men 15 or more drinks per week.
Wake up!
And it's a big problem. Alcohol consumption is a leading cause of death in young adults and is a major factor in injuries, chronic diseases, and reduced life expectancy.
All right, so you just learned a little bit about alcohol awareness, how it affects not only people here in New York, but across the nation. And now it is Alcohol Awareness Month in April, and Trinity of Chemung County joins us. Alexis Thorne, what do you do for them?
So I am the prevention education specialist. So my job primarily is to go around to the different schools, go into health classes, lunch programs, after school programs, and kind of using life skills and drug facts. We talk to the kids about the dangers of drug use. We talk to them about positive coping skills, things like that, to hopefully make it so that they don't end up in our clinic. So,
wonderful.
Yes.
And Gina, what do you do for the organization?
I am like the counterpart of her, and I am in the community. I educate the community. I go to town hall meetings. I have events for children and adults, and hope that we can keep them out of our treatment centers.
Perfect. Now, does Trinity just work with alcohol awareness, or do they do other things as well?
So it depends. Like I said before, we have the clinic side, and so anyone who has drug and alcohol abuse issues can go to the clinic and get outpatient treatment there. We have a doctor and a nurse, KSAC certified therapists, and then we also have the prevention side. And again, we do community events, we do education. We now have 3 educators out in the community, 2 other than myself. So again, education, community, and treatment. It's kind of a trinity of services, I guess, that we provide.
Now, we talked a lot about how you go into the community learning about tobacco prevention. What do you guys do as far as going out and teaching kids about alcohol prevention?
So a lot of times I try to focus on drinking and driving with the high school age students. That is a huge epidemic in our area. We have a drinking driver program class that we teach, and that is for people who have received a DWI. They come and they're mandated to be at that class. And from that, I have seen an increase all the time. We're always adding classes and getting booked up, and it's incredible how many people in this area are, charged with a DWI. So a lot of times I try to tell the kids, don't end up in this class, and it is a serious epidemic. So.
All right. So what ways are you guys getting in the community then to prevent alcohol awareness?
Right now, the community part that I do, we had a contest for grades 3 through 12 that they were to do a poster contest for reasons to be alcohol free. And we are putting them in the mall from the 15th to the 19th. We have over 200 entries, and people come to vote.
Wonderful.
So it's a community voting.
Now, what are some signs of it? I mean, do you go straight to addiction from alcohol and awareness, or is it something? What are the signs of having someone be addicted to alcohol?
So that's kind of a complicated question. I know that Stacy mentioned something about if they don't smoke by the time they're 18, then it's likely they won't ever start. And that's kind of how it is with alcoholism. So the younger someone starts, if they start when they're 11, 12, 13, which unfortunately does happen, they are significantly more likely to be an alcoholic. So again, a symptom or a sign of that might be someone who's very young drinking, someone who is kind of ditching out on their obligations, someone who is very withdrawn, antisocial. These are all very typical signs and symptoms of drug abuse and use.
Yeah, the statistics right now is under 15. If you start before the age of 15, you're 4 times more likely to become someone who has a problem with alcohol.
Now, can you just approach somebody that you think has a problem, or how do you go about that?
So that again is a very complicated question. So approaching someone might work. I've heard stories where a doctor has said to the person, it's pretty clear that your issues are related to alcoholism. A friend might approach that person and say, I think you have an issue. In the end, it has to be their choice. But I've also heard a lot of people say that there was kind of this one moment where they realized that they were having a problem. And so it never hurts to say, hey, I'm worried about you. Hey, I have a concern. You're missing these obligations. You're developing these odd behaviors. So intervention is always always probably a good
thing to
idea.
do. And then where do you go after the intervention? Is there a place where people can go to get help?
Yes, so obviously Trinity of Chemung County, our clinic section is a great place to go. We offer groups as well as individual therapies. It's been proven that things like Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous are some of the most successful rehabilitation programs, and so we very much have that type of model where it's a group environment and people share, and our counselors they're very wonderful. So
now, if somebody wants to reach out and get help, is there a place that they should call, or is there a phone number, or is there a website that they can visit?
Actually, they can call the 211 helpline. I believe that they have our contact information, or they can call us 607-737-5215, and just come in and get an evaluation. That's the best place to start. So.
Wonderful. All right, thank you very much. And now after the break, we're going to talk about how the two organizations work hand in hand in the community to make it a better place.
Twin Tier Sunday will return in a moment.
Welcome back. Hope you're still enjoying your Sunday. Now, Stack and Trinity are joining us together at the desk. Now, ladies, tell me how you work hand in hand to kind of bring some awareness to our community.
Okay, so the most recent event that we worked together with was for Kick Butts Day, which was in March, and we were fortunate enough to be able to work with Trinity because they have the local SAD groups in Elmira, and so she works with the SAD, Alexis does, and it was wonderful because the kids were able to come to the game. They wore t-shirts with tobacco statistics on it, so it was a wonderful opportunity to collaborate.
Now, what is SAD?
So SAD originally was Students Against Drunk Driving, but it's been,
Students Against Destructive Decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been expanded into Students Against Destructive Decisions. And so the group is locally based. It's in Southside and EFA high schools. Next year it will be in the combined schools. And they just kind of take up any cause that's detrimental to the community. And so STAC, being a tobacco cessation, they wanted to get together and kind of help out for the Kick Butts Day.
Now, what did they end up doing for the Kick Butts then?
So what we did is they collected shoes in order to make a display, of the people who die every year of tobacco-related illnesses. They also helped pass out information at the game. They had the Jackals, they had Blade come to their school. We had someone dress up in a little cigarette costume and kind of duke it out with him. It was really a sight to see. So,
now, how many kids are involved in that organization then?
So we have kids that kind of come every day. We have officers for each of the groups, and we in Southside and in EFA, the core members are about 5 to 7 kids, and then we have a few kids that come and just kind of help out for different things. So
cool. So other than the activities that you do with STAC, what are kind of the things that they do day to day in that organization?
So we meet once a week, and we do a variety of things. So in February there was the Friends for Life campaign that SAD has, and that is when kids reach out to other kids and say, hey, I care about you. Please continue to make positive choices in your life and do things that I would want you to do. They sold bracelets and with a little nice message about that. They just sent out a basket to the woman who was hit in the car accident recently, and word is she really appreciated that. So they do things here and there. So
that's wonderful. So what do you guys then events coming up that you might be working on?
Well, we have World No Tobacco Day, like I mentioned earlier, that's coming up. That would be a great event. And it's also great, too, because when the kids were at Kick Butts Day at the First Arena, they collected support signatures, which is great because when we meet with legislators, we can say, we had this event and there were so many signatures that would support a policy change for tobacco marketing or tobacco-free outdoors. And they did specifically tobacco marketing policies. And the kids were great because they would walk up to anybody and be like, would you support this? And have them sign it. So the kids were an awesome touch to have there. They did an amazing job at the event. And we had 70 shoes to represent the 70 people who die every day in New York State from tobacco use, with the pile of the empty shoes, which was great.
What kind of feedback did you get then from people that saw those shoes?
Sorry.
It was stunning to them. They couldn't believe it. Laura Lee, who was the program assistant at STAC, put little toe tags on each of them, so it was very powerful. A lot of people, if they didn't kind of stop to talk to us, they at least stopped and looked at that. So I thought it was very powerful.
And now I was at this event, and when I was walking in, I walked through a crowd of smokers. And do you think that it made them think twice about stopping?
I'm hoping that it did, you know, to see it and to kind of keep it in their forefront, you know, that this is something, and it's very difficult. It takes the average person about 7 quit attempts to actually quit. A lot of smokers do want to quit. It's just a very difficult habit to quit once you're addicted.
Now, what can parents and kids kind of do together in order to prevent, you know, even getting into these bad habits of either alcohol or smoking?
So as far as alcohol goes, we actually just had a social hosting town hall meeting, which is when adults or people who have bought alcohol provide it to minors in a social setting. And so a lot of what we had talked about there, police officers, insurance agents, and so forth, was that you create an environment for your child as a parent where it is okay or it isn't okay. And you know, a lot of the parents said that just keeping an eye on their kids and making sure that it wasn't okay, and they knew it wasn't okay, and they knew where their kids were, is a big, big help, I think.
Yeah, having those conversations with their kids and knowing what their kids are doing. I mean, people don't think that kids listen, but they really do listen to their parents when they talk, and it's important to have those conversations.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. All right, well, let's hope the numbers keep going down and the stats keep getting lowered as far as the way it's affecting people in our community, and you guys are doing a great job helping to prevent these two horrible things from getting to our kids, right? All right, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, thank you for having us.
No problem, and thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to look at what's coming this week, and I'll see you next Sunday.